Good afternoon, everyone. We start after lunch. We start our panel discussion. We invite our panel members to come on the dais, please. I introduce Harish Sharma, sir. He is a group head of management audit and insurance services at Adani Group, with 25 years of experience spanning various business such as thermal generation, transmission, distribution, mining, renewable energy, city gas distribution, ports, logistics, as well as real estate infrastructure projects. Sir was responsible for deployment of the internal audit frameworks, policies, plans in line with the global standards, design, functional governance, and quality assurance and strategies. He has led the transformational effort in assurance functions, played a pivotal role in digital transformation and technology readiness drive, leveraging the technology to enhance the audit efficiency and effectiveness. Now I introduce our second panelist, CA Anand Sharma, sir. Sir is a senior partner at Talati and Talati LLP. Was over 16 years of experience as a chartered accountant. His expertise spans across audit and insurance, due diligence, investigations, banking and finance, strategic government, planning and audit. He has led several leadership roles, including serving president of the Chartered Accountant Association of Ahmedabad and vice chairman of the Vikasa. He is also an active member of the various committees such as Directors of Professional Development and Ahmedabad branch Ahmedabad branch and the CE Association. Notably, he has contributed to the ICAI auditing and insurance standard boards, playing a key role in the guidance notes of banks 2023. His advisory roles includes servicing as an advisor to multiple government of Gujarat corporation, whereby he actively participates in due diligence and agreement and vetting. He also continues to contribute to the profession with his insights and thoughts leadership. He is also FC and the distinguished member of the ICAI. Now we have in the panelist Mr. Saurabh Verma, sir. He has 15 years of experience in a certificate of digital transformation, digital transformation leader from IIM, and the Six Sigma Black Belt head, and he is head of the digital lab in Six Said Services business. He is a technology leader with deep expertise in digital transformation, enterprise, IT, cybersecurity, and he has led the implementation of the various automation platform and passionate about the building smarter tech-enabled ecosystem. Welcome, sir. And the next one, Milind Shah, sir. He is also CA with 18 years of experience in the field of the finance transformation, said services management. He is currently heading the said services unit of the care rating and draws rich experience in heading centralized operations. With this brief introduction, I request Murtuza sir and Niro Agrawal sir, chairman of Ahmedabad branch, to facilitate our panelist.
I'm delighted to welcome you all over here on this next generation AI tools and auditing tools and technology initiatives seminar that is held. So as chartered accountants, we all are witnessing a huge shift in the way audits are being conducted currently. Whether it is new intelligent tools like AI, ChatGPT, or advanced auditing analytics, or various other tools that are coming day in and day out. So that is not only posing a huge challenge to us, but that is also giving huge insights into the way the operations have been handled in the past. So the internal audit function has evolved hugely over the last period of time. So in this seminar, we will try to see how the internal audit function has evolved, what are the new technologies that are marking their way in it, and how we as CAs or CS students, how they can empower themselves and learn new initiatives, and so that this ever-changing audit field can be addressed aggressively. So to start the session, my first question to Mr. Harish Sharma sir, what are the key drivers that the organizations need to adopt for new technologies that are making their way in?
So from my point of view, I think if you see that I will talk from the Adani group point of view. If we see that from Adani group, we have 10 listed entities been spread into the multiple locations, would be more than 400 locations, having a multiple subsidiaries and having a complexity of the business. So we've been in a port, we are in mining, transmission, distribution, we are in the multiple business forte. So with this complexity, and then we are acquiring new assets, new company, so that what happened, that how to imbibe the new team into the Adani culture, into the Adani process. So that is a lot of complexity and the spread which we have. So for that, the only solution is that how we can go ahead with the technology adoption, because from the enterprise level, from the organization point of level, from the internal audit point of level, if we see that it is required how we integrate, because the internal audit role is to give a assurance on the integrity of the financial and operational information, or related to the safeguarding of the assets, or related to the compliance with the laws and regulation. So if this has to be given in parlance with the multiple entities, multiple locations, multiple process, and there would be a multiple process owner. So only key solution is to how you imbibe the technology into your functional level. So this is the key aspect, because without technology you cannot go ahead with that. So from that point of view, you have to understand what are the data points available. From our, I just share with my example that how we have taken is that we have made a repository of all the applications we have. So is it, we have a SAP system which are across all the organization. This is a key platform. Then we have a SCADA system. So this is a operational technology. It's basically all the operation related matters are been through a SCADA system. Then we have a business application tool. So to run the operation of the business, there are the business application tool, and there are multiple other applications which provide very structured and unstructured data. So there are the two ways. So one is the driver, which I mentioned, is about the complexity and the geographical reach, and then second is that how we are required to compliance with the various requirements from the assurance point of view. So based on that, these are the various technologies, various platform which we have. So we group has also invested a lot in the technology. So basically they have invested into this kind of tool, plus they have also invested into the enterprise data lake. So enterprise data lake is the platform in which these all systems are being integrated. So is it a SAP system, or is it a SCADA system, or is it a business application system? So all the data points of all these applications are come into the enterprise data lake, which is at a group level. So now what happened, you have a multiple data point, and this multiple data point which you can use for further analysis. So you have not to go with the company by company. So from audit point of view, if you see, then what is the requirement? If you see, that is a multiple area which we are doing. One is a process audit. So if we consider any company, that could be like 10 to 12 key processes. For example, there would be operation, maintenance, business development, revenue assurance, procurement you have, then you have a HR, then you have finance and account, treasury. If these are the common processes across all the entity, there could be a one or two processes which is very particular to or relevant to the business. So if you can carve out, so what we have done that we have first done a two part of it. One is that we have carved out the all these 10 common processes, and based on that last 3 years what are the observations, what are the issues which we have raised. We have, because we have a very integrated audit management system which capture all the audit observations, so that we have categorized into the high, medium, low. So that base which we have taken, and then we focus on the high risk area. So what are the high risk observation and how it has been derived, what are the data points which are available in our enterprise data lake or in the system which we can capture, and then based on that data point then we prepared an algorithm, and then this exception will be come through a auto system itself. So it is not required to go round and round again on the site, coming up with the same set of information and observe. So one is that it is not a post audit, it is more of a continuous audit or an online audit. So that is something which has been worked, and this has been continuous process which we are working. So with a target that we want to do away with the manual audit, that is a target, because here also is that we have company has invested into the technology, and that is why we can think of this kind of solution. So these are the couple of aspects which has really drive for the automation and technology adoptions.
Okay, right. So very well said. Can't agree with you more. So just adding on and to bring this into more detail as to, so currently the technologies which are on everyone's mind is machine learning, AI, or artificial intelligence as we can, or advanced analytics as we say. But then if my question to Anand Sharma sir, what additional technologies, or these are the broader names, what technologies in addition to this are something which are making it imperative for the CAs to adopt that and then use them for auditing purposes?
So very rightly said by Harish bhai. I mean, gone are the days that tick and tie and manual audit which used to happen. Yes, but as an auditor, and what you have said regarding the key factors, basically, I would say that effectiveness for this type of humongous data. Just imagine Adani or maybe some big houses, or now even some small houses who have spreaded operations, which are across India or maybe globally. Just think of certain banks or just think of certain NBFCs which are having operations. And every day there's new evolution, new type of businesses, new type of operations, new things are coming up. Now how to adapt to all these things? So, but obvious, end of the day, somewhere or the other, auditors will have to use technologies. So there are various names. I mean, every day some new technology is coming, but end of the day, what I've seen the most useful is machine learning and AI. Now, the important factors, I would say that whenever we go to such type of transactions or operations, the important aspect, of course, machine would work in their manner. The important thing are parameters. Like where auditors would be involved, in those technologies. We have bought some technology, right? मैंने एक artificial intelligence for particular client मैंने ले लिया. Say for example, Adani, having different operations, different ports, and I was just thinking in the morning about the airports, right? So many things. Now they have revenue shared operations with various vendors who are there. So I was just thinking how they'll be managing the audit, how the correctness would come, how many risks are involved in that. So end of the day, I mean, going future, AI would be replaced with something else. But yes, in our office, if we say we are majorly now using artificial intelligence, having said that, where brains are being used, okay? So I was just saying the parameters, the samplings, right? So that's where we have to be smart. It's just not about using the technology. It's about how to adapt that technology with various operations that come, with various transactions that come, and about the requirement of the client also. 4 or 5 things wherever I've visited through my entire experience, 5 things I've always heard from the client: effectiveness, efficiency, correctness, value addition, and fairness. Okay? Yes, technology would give you effectiveness, efficiency, value addition also, right? But when it comes to fairness, that's where auditors would be required, and that's where is the place where we'll have to use the technology.
Right. Sure. Thank
So
you.
just want to add what Anand said. So you have rightly said about that the technology is enabler. So one is that you have to use the parameter. So here just I want to add, share my perspective that as a chartered accountant, so AI, Gen AI, agentic AI, this is a buzzword in the sense it required lot of base working. So it is the end, but from CA fraternity, one has to understand the basic, first of all, the data structure. So rather than complicating the whole thing, what is the data structure, how the data has been capturing, what kind of systems are being used, and what are the algorithm. We can start with the simple thing first, whether whatever right now you are doing, is that possible that we can use certain kind of algorithm, certain kind of tools, technology, that we can ease that thing. And then that there are various things. One is that like robotic, this robotic process. So that is one part. Second is that machine learning. So machine learning is a kind of thing which gives a trend. Above that is a generative AI. And above that is a agentic AI. So first of all, if we can structure our database, if we can work on the basic algorithm, that is the first stage where we can start, because this is very much required you to change the mindset, changing from the traditional to some automation, and then there would be a lot of technology. The way it has been evolving, there are multiple technology, multiple AI tools are coming. The way it has been gaining the speed, you will every now and then will come up with a new kind of solution. So first of all, from my perspective, if you thinking everything from the data points, from the automation point of view, that is the key to move. And then adoption of the technology which can be eased for the operation. It could be any of the technology, it could be a chat GPT, Copilot, or any of the AI tools which we can use. But before that, we have to start with the basic and then reach to that solution.
Perfectly.
Milinji, if you permit, even I would. So basics as what they've said, I mean, approved vendors, okay? Sometimes, see, we use technology, but then approved vendors, okay? Inviting quotations going into your PO and everything. See, these are also very important factors for management. Management every day is not going to see whether, you know, they've come up with a new vendors, whether those quality vendors are coming to them or not. Here also, I mean, the use of technology has now started. But again, sir, what sir has said, that the parameters, the basics, I mean, we'll have to define. I mean, that's where chartered accountant will have to use the brain. That's where the internal audit team, you know, wherever the company, if they have their in-house team, they'll have to use their brains to define the parameters.
Right.
Thank you.
So one point that comes to everyone's mind is that whenever we think about tools, we only restrict ourselves to tools that are used for audit per se. But so maybe Saurabh, Verma, sir, you can throw light on it. There are also various ancillary tools which are available, which can be used either to prepare your reports, to plan your meetings, to plan your entire audit cycles, and to throw reminders, or to basically manage your entire audit activities. It's not only tools used to validate data, but also supporting tools. So if you can just throw light on some of those tools which we all can use.
So, very wild point covered by Harish bhai and Neeraj bhai. The point is, nowadays someone is raised that AI is a buzzword, and everyone talks about that artificial intelligence. But intelligence, I believe that in Indian minds, from initiation, from by birth, we are intelligent. Now the point is that how we utilize our intelligence, that is a main key component, that how we are using that. So because of the team, my fellow of CAs, both are, and lots of you are practitioner and internal auditor. So one point that which we should add in our audit, internal audit point, that related to why we are using multiple of similar like a ERP in a single organization, which you can add and ask, why are you using? Because when we need to set our layer of AI or the generative AI, first we need to see our data structure, which you both covered. And nowadays the biggest problem that if we need to plan our intelligence layer, the biggest problem for all of the organization that we are having a lots of ERPs and a lots of data set. Layer of data sets. One which is flowing from ERPs, second which we are building and doing a massaging in SQL and other database. Third layer we are keeping in our Excel. That is a master database, which you can say. And now the point is coming, which is a truth and correct database, which is a point which is lacking in every organization to build your AI strategy. So my point that we should immediately and start to think that how we can control the dataset structure as an audit point in our when we do an internal audit, and ask that why you are keeping a multiple data set and why we are keeping a multiple ERPs for a single, you can say the problem statement, we can keep a single data source or one or two, but we are maintaining a multiple data source. The second point which you highlighted that how we can use, because you are mentioning something related to the generative AI. When we use an enterprise model, if we're using a Microsoft 360 or we are using Google Workspace or Zoho, we all are connected somewhere with the AI. Because we've seen that if you are using Microsoft, that we are using Teams. And Teams is also having a AI capabilities. Right. If you see that you can transcript your meeting, and then transcript meeting you can convert it in a notes, which you can use. It's a very low-hanging example which you can in your day-to-day operation which you are using. Similar, you can do the Google Workspace also in terms of Gemini, which you can use for your AI intelligence. However, I would not recommend or say to use any OpenAI or ChatGPT like a tool to do your client work data, because that is not secured and that is not in intranet of your organization where you are doing your audits. So that where you put your control to use your customer data or your confidential data to use any open AI platform or any open AI tools, and where we need to set our limitation. But however, you can use like enterprise certified tools, Gemini and your teams for your day-to-day meeting notes, just like extra.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. So to add to the aspect, so currently we all feel that yes, data it is the new oil for which people would be fighting wars. So now with advanced analytics and data analytics tools, one aspect, either both on the positive as well as on the negative side, it is coming is that auditors are now bombarded with huge sum of data. So previously, so when we studied auditing process, it was restricted to sampling, and we also based on the samples provided to us. But now with the use of these technologies, so sampling has moved out, and it's like doing audit on the entire database. So my question to Harish Sharma sir, so how would an auditor handle this situation? How would, when they have this huge lump sum data lying, and then with the help of these tools, they have to analyze the entire set, moving out of sampling to the entire data auditing?
Yeah. So from this perspective, how it would start like that, if because you will do an audit of specific objective or specific process. So whatever the audit assignment is there, so first what is the objective of that audit? So first has to start with what he is going to achieve from that. So that is the first question, which is a very fundamental as a part of internal audit, whether it's a technology is there or not. So that is a one aspect we need to understand. Second is again a fundamental is that a process walkthrough, which is again a standard process which can never be changed, because unless you do not do a walkthrough, because we have an in-house team as well as a external team, tier 1, all PwC, EY, Deloitte, tier 2 firms. And one of the basic things which we are seeing as a missing, because when we are getting work done from them, The things which are missing is that no one is doing a walkthrough, which is a very fundamental again, like from start to end, what is the process, what are the documentation, what are the IT tools, what are the IT interaction has been made, what is the people level interaction. They are not doing that simple process. And then we do a audit of something which is not really known. So first of all, they do not understand this is my what experience and my exposure which has been come across. This is a real problem which is coming in the what is the objective, and second, what is the walkthrough, what is the process. And then it comes that if these two are being very understood, then you know what are the data points, what are the technology, because if we have been asked if the organization or the function have a data points available with a huge number of data, and the quality of data, as Saurabh mentioned, is a good, correct database, then you can think about the analytics. What are the KPIs, which Anand bhaiya said about the parameters. So suppose if you take for example, a maintenance process, you want to do because we also have a thermal plant. If I take an example of that, we have a huge database where each equipment have details about type of equipment, type of error, whether preventive done or not. So there are a huge sum of data has been lying. Now, if you know what is my objective, if you know what is the process, how these data are been captured in various systems, and then you will know that if I want to give a complete assurance, not on a sample basis, what kind of data points, data label I have to select for my analytics, and what are the exceptions, what can go wrong into that if you have identified it, and where is the source of that data, and if you pick that data from the database, data lake, then you can really come out with the exception which are very meaningful, because that exception are attached to the objective. What is the objective of that audit? And that objective again has to somewhere serve from the organization point of view, whether is it a profit maximization, revenue maximization, or cost minimization, or control enhancement. Somewhere has to link from that. If you take that as a start with the simple foundation work, understand the data where it is lying, and then analyze that data and come out with the conclusion, you will get a immense outcome. What has been happening is that even first of all, if we do not do a walkthrough, we do not know objective, but somehow we get the data from the database. But again, that database been pushed to the process owner that this is a database. But that database also not been validated with some sample 3-4 on the ground, whether this whatever the data is coming from the database are really correct. Is it making any relevant message? So that is something is been done. I think that we can able to get a assurance which is more wholesome, in the sense holistic way, which covers all the data rather than a sampling basis, and really value to the client, value to the organization. So that is a very relevant aspect of it.
Right, sure.
So my addition to this point, and nowadays that when we are thinking toward the journey of artificial intelligence and generative AI, we should also think that we need to change something in an organization level, as well as if you are doing and thinking in perspective of audit, that we need to add those points. That first, that we need to create a separate COE, and because you mentioned the fuel, and it's rightly mentioned that data is a fuel nowadays, and everyone related to whether as a part of audit team, internal finance team, and every department, they are based, because the decision based on data, and data reliability is must. Then we need to create a separate COE in terms of your audit team, that the person or the team is must qualified and certified in terms of how to check and validate the data source. The second, enterprise level, means the organization also create a separate wing of looking or auditing the regular basis of our data, that how we are managing entire organization data structure. That is needed if we need to build and thinking about the AI and generative AI layer on basis we are making our decision or future roadmap. That is a must, which we need to start to follow.
So right, very rightly articulated. So with great technology, it also comes as great responsibility. So if we can throw some light on the responsibility aspect. So if Anand, Sharma sir, you can comment on the fact that what we have been seeing is that all ChatGPT or all AI models, they are based on certain algorithm, and there is also certain bias that might be linked to that algorithm. Now, I think a lot of us would be aware about the fact a couple of months back when our Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, tweeted a fact that if you ask any ChatGPT or any AI model to throw up an image of a person writing with a left hand, there is all likelihoods that you will get the image of a person writing with his right hand, because globally the algorithm that it has been built in, they have not thought through of that aspect that a person can also write with with his left hand. And even if you see that, so that's a fact. So now if we take that into perspective and see how is it as auditors we can deal the aspect of algorithm bias and see to it that the end objectives of our audit are met.
Okay. For this, I would say there's one nice series, Forensic on OTT. Okay, as you rightly said, that patterns, see, algorithms are what? I mean, these are all patterns which are being defined. Okay. So, again, I would say, end of the day, what management wants. Pehle, as an auditor, see, these are all big things that are coming up, right? Big organization, big things, even mid-size are going towards. And what we are seeing right now is just on social media, the ChatGPT or Gemini, but there are very, very advanced version, Actually, what Saurabh ji has said that using ChatGPT, but have your own login ID, pay for it. I mean, you'll have to invest in it, right? Then only you will get a good results out of it. What we are using is just will download from the Google or something like that. Pirated versions, I mean, for an auditor, I would say it's a big no. Never do that. First of all, you are leaking your data and you're leaking your client's data. And somewhere or the other, now each and every organization are going for NDAs, right? So please understand how much liability as an auditor you are carrying. So stop using that. Now, when we talk about algorithms, again, these are just patterns. So many things come up because for one of my company, since last 40 years, we have been doing pre-audit. So each and every voucher, that gets pre-audited. And Harish sir, you will not believe when the last voucher comes, तो उसके ऊपर है ना 15 signatures होती है और उसके बाद में payment होता है. And payment also, we as an internal auditor, we become part of it. So we are one of the person who final जब payment हो रहा है, then we approve it and then only someone from accounts and finance would be releasing it. Now that company has suddenly grown, I mean, every day there are more than, I would say like 10,000 transactions that are coming up. Okay. We were just sitting and I was saying, I mean, pre-audit mein, I'm supplying you like 50 of my staff as of now. But the way you are growing, I mean, first of all, sitting for 500 people, I'll supply 500 people, okay, for that. Because that management is very clear that I want each and everything to be audited before the payment is released, right? They have their in-house team, they'll have their internal audit, they will have everything, right? As a pre-auditor, internal auditor, statutory auditor, and then one more audit they will keep. So much of complex structure they have made as far as audit is concerned. But then he's right. आज तक वहाँ पे एक पैसा आगे पीछे नहीं हुआ है. Neither by the management, neither by any of the employee. So that way, that strength is there. So we started. I mean, then I told them that now you'll have to define the functions. Okay, gone are the days that you'll be doing. But he said, no, I want my each and every transaction to be audited. So I said, okay, fine. We bought some vendor artificial intelligence right from beginning. So whatever documents comes, that gets scanned now. After scanning, that comes into their system. Then PO, सबसे पहले PR आता है. PR, PO, comparison with the quotations before release of PO, of course, make a concept, everything. So now what AI is doing right from source document till the payment, last payment तक वो पूरा audit करके दे देता है. So exceptional report comes out, but we devoted almost 6 months defining those algorithms inside. Okay, we tried to see that each and area that whatever we are doing as that has got covered. Second thing came about functional audit. So now even management is functional audit. As rightly said, there are 10 or 12 different logistics. Maybe one of them, there can be operations, there can be ITCG, there can be procurement pay, there can be accounts and finance. These are different functional areas, okay? as an auditor, I would first say that define your scope very clearly. पहले वो decide करो कहाँ पे जाना है, right? कहाँ पे मुझे पहुँचना है, and define that path. Not only financial audit. Now there is a requirement of non-financial audit also. BRSR, sustainability reporting. Just imagine in State Bank of India, we had to give assurance on BRSR. Just think, 1,50,000 branches. मेरे को वहाँ का electricity every day का generation क्या हो रहा है वो मेरे को अंदर data देना था. You understand the data now which has been required for different type of even non-financial audits also. So defining algorithm is very, very important before moving ahead or adopting for even for management or for an auditor, any technology.
So, just to add to what Anand said, so the point is that to really audit even algorithm bias or the AI tool, first of all, the basic foundation again comes the kind of a skill set. So as a chartered accountant, one, we are very great in financial aspect, statistical aspect. This is very core about the AI or the algorithm or the programming part of it. So first of all, how you create that kind of skill. So what kind of curiosity are you learning additional? Is there any additional courses, maybe online or offline? So that is something first has to understand the emerging technologies, the core of the AI. So that is one is the awareness, because this is again very expertise or domain part. So second approach is that if I really understand from the internal control, because my role is to give assurance whether the objective or the specific AI is independent, transparent, and doesn't have a algorithm bias, which may algorithm bias. Why we am auditing? Because if any decision made based on that outcome may be going incorrect. So that is why if you really want to give the assurance about that particular AI or particular tool or particular outcome is correct, one is that I need to understand the basic about the framework. I am not maybe expert, but at least I should have a framework understanding. For that I need to have certain investment in doing learning of that. So that is the first part of it. Second is that I need to adopt a certain approach, whether it could be embedded with the expertise external, because definitely I may not be a very domain expert where I can go, otherwise I could be a AI engineer rather than chartered accountant. So second, that either in-house there is someone who can help me in validating that algorithm, or there could be an external embedded support which I can use to validate, because I'm good in understanding the control environment overall from the risk perspective. But what is being lying into that? What is the basis? What is the algorithm? What are the biases has been creeping into that? What is that thing? How it has been prepared? So that is somewhere it's a joint kind of thing where we can really work on that and then develop or give assurance whether the really this is the outcome which the tool or the technology is giving is as what we require to get out of that.
So in addition to this point also, that recently I attended one of the program, Mr. Bhupen Bhai Patel launched AI Center in Gift City, and government is working to central government in with partnership of state government. They are working to build our own OpenAI like platform, like DeepSeek, ChatGPT is a part of OpenAI. India is also working toward to build their own OpenAI platform. And the point which you mentioned related to there are multiple type LLM model, large language model, small language model, short and large. In finance, I seen that we are way behind as comparatively when we talks about customer related touch point. So B2C is having lots of automation and LLM which is proven and built by Indian engineers. But when we point out in related to the finance, that because the major one, every organization talks about that what's the prediction, and everyone trying to find out the prediction. As second is the fraud. And when we talks about the fraud, there are ample of product available in the market, but those are also not very given an accurate result. They are giving you can say the result of 95%, most of them is a false positive. They are giving a lots of size of data which need to revalidate. So here also that we can, if we work together like a techie and technology engineers and plus the finance team, and the chartered accountant can work together, they can build LLM which can help to a finance team. And that can be our in-house or Indian origin product which can be customized and work as per our need.
So talking about technology, technology is as powerful as people we have. So touching upon one more aspect. So if Harish Sharma sir, you can add to that, how CAs can adopt this technology and how they can transform themselves, what new learnings they can take or what additional skills they need to acquire so that they can adapt to this ever-changing situation.
So as I mentioned, that one is that we have a core basic understanding has become a chartered accountant, because I am also chartered accountant, to understand what are the financial aspect, what is the risk aspect of it. Now once I understand it, and now I have to apply that understanding into this new age technology, which can be a generative AI, agentic AI, LLM. So for that, I need to first understand, again, as I mentioned, what is the core of this kind of technology. So from that perspective, I will start learning certain courses. I will start learning certain kind of understanding about these technologies, how it is working, what are the core, how it is making changes into that. So based on that, if I suppose if I do not understand the cyber security aspect of it, how the cyber security, if I am a chartered accountant, I really want to do some IT audit or Gen AI audit or any artificial algorithm bias audit, I have to start with some basic thing. What is the cyber security? What is the OT security? What is how it have penetrating issues? How it create a problem to the organization? What are the touch point where can create this kind of issue? Suppose if you are a small USB enter into one of the smallest laptop, even that can create a havoc to the organization. If I do not have that basic understanding about the overall the eco structure, how this IT works. So I just give a certain example, like in Adani Group, we have blocked all the USB of all the laptop. We do not even allow to enter any USB in any of the laptop or any of the system. So from that basic, when we understand that this is one of the key risk, or this could be one of the area where can penetrate and create a problem for the organization, that has been created block. Second is the lot of awareness session, because more of things are been working on the preventive action. So IT team are sending a kind of a link to the employee where they have been offered, like you are being selected for the free tickets for the cinema or the gift, and if they link, then they create a whole case of it and send to the highest level. This is the guy who are not properly trained. He's not been understanding that this kind of links should not be attended. Third is that any email which are coming, it has been mentioned whether it is internal or external. So this is the preventive action which has been taken. And as an auditor, as a chartered accountant, we need to understand these all nuances of the cyber security IT system. So that is when we are building up why it is being required, what is the important of it, what is a firewall, how the firewall is really working, how it prevent. Even if we talk about a firewall, we say that is a firewall, but firewall is a word, but again in firewall there are so many exceptions, so many algorithm which has to tick, so many functionality has to tick whether that firewall is working or not. When you're saying that we have a firewall, but if you have not ticked that any such incoming traffic has to be blocked, that will enter into your system and damage the whole system. So these are the building block, the small thing when you have to start thinking about the IT system, cyber security system, and then algorithm system, and how this algorithm or the processing are working. And then you talk about LLM and discussing curiosity and understanding all of these things, then really you can really create a value for yourself and for the organization.
So sticking on to the people and front side. So from a CA firm point of view, how do you see, so what is or is there a need in terms of recruiting data scientists also and engineers also in a specific, in a CA firm point of view? So do you see that also as a requirement in future?
Yes, very much. I mean, I'm not talking about future, but so many firms have started investing before 5 years, 6 years. Okay, so there are engineers which are available. Maybe if they have not been recruited, at least certain we have made agreements with them, because day by day, things had become very complex for a chartered accountant to understand certain, this data analytics or engineering within the data. It was like, it used to consume our time also, right? And at the same time, we were not able to get the benefit out of it because you need specific IT people, in your organization who can really make certain products for you. Even Institute has come up with very good software called Idea. Okay, now Idea basically it's a sampling software. So if you'll just put up certain samples inside it, it will give you few number of samples. Okay, but then slowly and gradually, when we went and in depth into it, we could even generate various MISs also, right, from the samples itself. Of course, when those samples were being generated, giving different ideas, I mean, whatever my team wanted, that, okay, I need to scan transactions above, say, for example, 1 lakh rupees, okay, which has happened not from the corporate office, but which has happened from the branch office, okay. Just imagine and understand, if I have to see it manually, it would have taken 1 year, right? So these softwares, along with those engineers, we were able to, get within hours we used to get. And now, so many here sitting, I mean, they also know the importance. We have to work in line with them, I mean, because every day something new is coming up. Every day there is a new fraud.
Right.
Okay, we can see अब वो screenshot बंद कर दिया banks ने, right? If your iMobile, if you see in ICAI, they have stopped the screenshot. As rightly said, USB. Since last 10 years, in my firm, there's no laptop which has been used, and we've disabled all USBs because वो pen drive कहाँ घूमेगी? मेरे client का data लेकर, मेरा data लेकर 10 जगह पर घूम रही है वो. Right? So data is very important, and as you rightly said, we have invested, and now time has come. Everyone, a good audit firm will definitely have to invest.
In addition to this point also, that I can see, because I am working in SSC and GCC last 15 years, and my core background also is a finance, and after finance I am doing this IT. And I seen that in my team, 7 to 8 CAs are working, and all are very techy. And one of the example after came SAP, SAP FICO module, finance module, and industries prefer CAs to work on that role.
Right.
If the talks related to that configuration comes, then apart CA can a better understanding if we talks about the finance. And now the point when we transform related to the finance, then better choice this qualified chartered account is a better solution who come up with the domain knowledge plus technology.
Right.
So they are building a best product. And now in SSC, because my core background is a finance, and I sharing with you that 5 product which I patented with my name, and which is related to the finance, and that's an enterprise large solution, as well as finance person build a face-to-face virtual chatbot interview based on generative AI, and one of my finance team member who built entire fraud tool. Although we are not getting that result which we are expecting, but those all are finance people who are working in that area. So I would say that, and that is the reason that all we are here, because everyone thinking in the same line that future is this only.
Right. So,
Sir, one assignment we were given, I mean, not only chartered accountant, now even doctors are using AI to an extent. So, जब glucose का bottle जब चढ़ता है, right? So now there's a technology that has come up that in case if the because initially nurses used to stay nearby to check whether those glucose or blood, whether it is going properly, whether the flow is there or not. Now there's a technology which has come up. If it's not going, then there would be a buzzer that would come up, right? So we were given an assignment by one of the hospital to check whether those buzzers were correct or not. So we used to stand there and see and verify that yes, the buzzers are being banged at the right time. So just understand where we are going, and same thing will happen with chartered accountant. And believe me, the days would come, we would be expected more of non-financial audits.
Right.
Will be expected more of non-financial audits.
Financial audit will be done because it is a kind of, this AI is nothing but a blockchain kind of, it's an open ledger kind of thing where there is only one source of information. What we are doing as a thing is that we are giving assurance whether all the data integrity is right or not. If suppose that is not a chance, then there is no financial audit because it is only talking from the one source of information. And again, if AI is an advanced blockchain, so it's a open ledger where anyone can validate and say, yeah, this is a correct information. So what you are saying is perfectly right, that the financial audit would, because after SAP, I don't know that there is that trial balance matching. Earlier it used to be done. SAP, that is given now. No one can think about that. So similarly, AI or analyticals that will done away with this financial audit. It is only basically then you do how a consulting kind of thing, how the value add kind of thing which you can generate, and that is an exception, prompt engineering or prompt, how you generate from that and then give us some value addition, because then now you have to have a curiosity in your mind what can go wrong and how you can get that information through various this technology. Rather than validation part, I think that has been maybe another 1, 2, 3 years, that part will be gone. One has to develop a mindset. You have to raise a certain correct questions, how you are raising that question and then how you are getting that answer from this technology. That would be a key for going forward as a kind of success.
So maybe one question that everyone here sitting would have in mind is that, will AI replace audit or will it augment it?
See, again, of course, I'll always protect my members. AI cannot replace human intelligence, okay? Because we are feeding into it. Right? Something new would come up. Fraud कितने टाइप के हो गए सर, है ना? And fraud is a state of mind. Right? अगर किसी को fraud करना होगा तो कुछ भी करके fraud करेगा, कुछ भी करके. You put up any software, you put up anything, just a state of mind. Right? If he has to do, he will do it. So yes, AI would be very, very important tool. Auditors or our profession will definitely, those who will not be using will definitely fail, 100% I would say. But yes, it cannot replace human intelligence or chartered accountants or maybe doctors. Human resource also. I mean, one of my client, he said that day by day now big companies are adopting AI. So what is happening if some employee is coming, okay, then they have a screen. So that 15 questions would be asked by artificial intelligence to that particular person, okay? And then it will give the entire analysis, okay, iska creativity अच्छा है, iska ये अच्छा है, iska वो अच्छा है. What HR used to give, right? So they are also facing, they are also adopting now AI. So how they've done is that why you are investing so much. So they are investing one point of time and then they will cater 15, 20 clients. So AI will definitely be important, technology will definitely be important, but yes, replacing human brains, I don't see.
So, what Anand ji said is perfectly right. Only the thing is that there would be a change in the scope. So right now we are supposed doing some functional audit, transactional audit, management audit, or maybe another areas of validation or assurance. That aspect, as he mentioned one example about the hospital, that was not the scope earlier used to be where they have to check that kind of thing. So definitely independent assurance, there is no other solution to that. Only thing is that how you change the approach, how you adopt to the new thinking or new technology which is coming, because they required, as you mentioned about the algorithm bias, that is also the audit area which is going to come, which is not right now. But if you understand at this emerging technology, new technology, you learn something and then you can deliver to that. So that definitely there, only there, what my understanding is that there would be a change in the scope, change in the approach where you have to work, but definitely as an independent assurance, as a chartered accountant, that continues to be there.
Sir, this process, very important aspect. Process audit, what sir said, walkthrough, okay? So one of my NBFC, technologically driven, superb, right? All their lenders are on app and everything is there. Ab yehi jo process tha, when we did this entire walkthrough process, we went to the branch in one of the village. Of course, my team went to the village. Now there used to be collection of cash. Okay, sir? So while going through that process, तो collection of cash होता था. अगर cash 5 बजे के बाद में आता था, right? So there's one person's house where this cash used to be kept, okay? Early morning again, 10 o'clock that person used to go and used to deposit that cash. When it came, into our process, so my team was sitting, we said that this is the biggest process lag. 5 बजे के बाद में the cash is not staying with the company.
Right.
It's in hands with some different person. Right. Okay. So then again, what they did, there's one agency called Fino. They hired that Fino. Fino used to take that money into their account. So that the amount, it used to be like, yes, मैंने deposit कर दिया है. So entirely responsibility shifted from company to the Fino. And Fino used to pay to the corporate account. So एक account खड़ा हो जाता था हमारा. Right? So any day, even if income tax comes or anything, right? Even the fraud also. So now, second day, they used to reconcile. कि Fino में इतना cash है, उतना cash जमा हो गया है नहीं. So this, yes, so this came from walkthrough. That was our first day of audit. So there was a revolution in that organization. Just imagine they have like 3,000 branches. छोटे डूंगरपुर ये सब छोटे छोटे गांव के अंदर में. So of course human brains will always stay. It should stay.
So in my point of view, that AI or generative AI, you can treat maybe your buddy or maybe your servant who will work for you, but keep it that level only. Your mind should not go away. Always use your mind when you are doing any prompting or using any AI. If you fully dependent on AI, that definitely they will replace you. The point that the scope will change. The scope in sense of that we were not talking about the data science related things and the data audit point, which is a new scope for audit, as well as industry 4.0, because I've seen that now the demand is coming to manufacturing sector. Industry want that auditor go in plant and check whether how we can improve the efficiency, productivity, which is a new area which is coming in terms of the audit, in terms of how we can check a process lacuna, which earlier only related to the plant team, but now they are seeking that can audit team help to improve those. So I'm seeing that the basic work of yours related to making a notes or making a basic checks, because we discuss about the sampling also. That sampling also you can cover 100% sampling through the AI, which you can help us and give a real-time output in terms of whether it is an outliner or inliner that you can do. And related to your basic work, when you move to that AI, then you can scope and find out the new area of your work, like in Industry 4.0 and other area of audit.
I think very valid inputs from all the rest. I think we have covered majority of the aspects. So if anyone from the audience would like to ask any of the questions to our panelists, I think we can take a couple of them.
As we are talking about AI, so nowadays agentic AI is a very buzzword, not just AI, agentic AI. So how we as a CA firm or you as a big CA firm use agentic AI for CA firm or for our clients too?
So I will explain you what's the agentic AI, then I will answer. Agentic AI, is my smaller servant, main servant, and then the smaller servant, or thoda junior. So basically agentic AI used for, it works for your day-to-day approvals and decision making. How it works, basically that agent AI seen your entire pattern for that approval. I'm taking one example. If you are approver of any company and you are doing your approval on basis of certain parameter, that parameter is captured in memory on basis of your decision making on which factor accordingly agentic AI perform the same in absence of you. That's the agentic AI. It is not going to impact as of now is it is for enterprise, for high level organization. We can say that is CA firm is not going to impact any of related to this agentic AI. Agentic AI is a different thing. So it's new for related to the larger organization for a decision making things in absence of any one of your manager absence, that agentic AI can perform that approval process. Something is a simple way.
So to add that, this is a three layer. One is started with the machine learning. That's the basic starting where there's a trend, patterns, and then they come up with the exception. Then there is a generative AI. So in which you prompt. So like chat, GPT, Copilot, where you prompt and then he give a response. It is give a response to the question. Whereas agentic AI is a things which he decide once you broad parameter has been set, he will take action with all the parameter. So this is the basic of the AI. When you talk about from the chartered accountant point of view, there is a regulation, because when we talk about use of AI, Gen AI, because we has been a fiduciary role where we have to give a certain kind of certification in which there are certain black box of this AI. So right now the regulation is not very clear how this certification institute will use this kind of, they can use only to support it, but they cannot based on that outcome can give any kind of a certification that this is the outcome based on that, because their personal liability is lies onto that, and there is no regulation right now allows to use that kind of thing. So going future in that, if that framework, regulation and clear rules and responsibility come, how, because if something goes wrong, who will be held responsible for that? So you cannot say that this is the outcome of the agentic AI or the generative AI, this outcome has been given. So that is something is still in the phase of development. So that is what when we see that we use certain buzzword of AI and Gen AI, but it required from the Indian perspective, definitely it requires some more time to stabilize and adopt that.
Thank you, sir.
Certain administrative roles, yes, that can be done, because as a chartered accountant in my firm, I mean, as of now, we have not adopted this agentic AI, but yes, he has to perform certain things, whether the article has reached to the correct location or not, whether it's the correct place or not, what time he is leaving. Of course, HR is doing a function, but at the same time, yes, since we are also very old firm, we have our own process. So all CAs, they would at least in the weekend they'll report to the partners, okay, these were the people who didn't reach on the time or something. Yes, we can use that, but yes, when it comes to personal, even today I take print and I'll look into it, at least those important papers. Because somewhere or the I am adapted like that. Maybe my child or my son wouldn't be, or maybe my junior partner would be, using the screen and everything. But when it comes to very important document, I'll always ask for a print. और उसमें गलती निकलती है.
Sir, can we have a list of ready-made available tools, if any recommendatory tools?
Recommendatory, I mean, Institute has come up with ChatGPT now. You can take that idea software. These are two important tools. At least you can start with your stat audit and everything. And internal audit, it depends. I mean, what type of audit you have, because internal audit again there are 10 different types of internal audit which is going on. So various tools are there. But yes, for CA firm, these two are very important, IDEA and ChatGPT, which is issued by Institute. Okay, ChatGPT specifically.
So I think, yeah. So thank you to all our panelists for sharing your valuable insights. I think the message is very clear that the future of audit, it's not only data driven, it's also intelligence driven, and it's also collaborative. So I think a message to all of us here also, it's time that we upgrade our skills and adopt new technologies so that we can adapt to the ever changing environment. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Thank you all.
It's my immense pleasure to give a vote of thanks to a great panelist, including moderator. Thank you for showering us the knowledge. Thank you. We can join for a tea break.